Okay, everybody, so today we're going to walk through how to create a module and how to set up prerequisites and requirements within that module. So I'm going to go into a class that I've already created, a course that I've already created, and I'm going to go over here to modules. You can do a couple different things. I started with one that has no modules here, so if I wanted to, I could go to the Commons and I could find a course that has a module that I like, and I could pull that in. But for right now, we're just going to work under this idea that I'm going to create one. One of the things you can do with a module is if I'm working ahead, say it's August, and I'm working on a module that I don't need until later in the year, I can lock that module until a given date, which is a nice feature. But for right now, I'm going to leave that off. And I go here to add a module, and while I'm doing that, I'm actually going to add a second module. Just so we can see the prerequisites here. I can select testing 1 to be complete before they get to testing 2, which is nice. It lets me dictate the order to students. Okay, so then I'm going to go into adding to the module. So these are just some assignments I have in other courses I teach. It doesn't much matter for what we're doing right now. These are things that I've already created though. So it's nice if you're building a module to have some of the things that, or at least most of the things that you're going to put in that module already created. So I've got that there. I'll add this one. And then I can indent things too. If you forget to do that, which I just did, I can indent it right here. That's just for kind of organizing. Sometimes people like to break stuff up. You can go into here and put a text header, and if I just want the text header to say assignments, and that I'm not going to indent, you can see that that's there now. And then if I want to reorder it, I can just drag it up there. And there it goes. I'm going to add a couple more things so we can look at, let's go over here to discussions. We'll add a discussion here. We'll indent that one level, add item, and let's go ahead and add a quiz. So put that quiz in, we'll indent that one level, add item. And so you can see the adding of things is super simple. I can even add external URLs. So if I want everyone in the class to go to ESPN.com, I can do that. I can call it ESPN. I can set it to load a new tab. So I add that. So I'm just adding things as I go through. Super simple. One of my favorite parts about modules, along with the prerequisites, is the requirements. So if I click these 3 dots here and I go to edit, I can add a requirement. And I can say students must complete all of these requirements. That I feel like is important. So I'll pick the first one, and I want them to mark it as done. This is just the student does whatever's on that page, and then the onus is on them to literally just mark that they've completed it. On this one, I want them to submit something sorry, that was the wrong. There we go. I want them to submit the assignment. On the discussion, I want them to contribute to the page. And if I go all the way down to let's see, the link, I just want them to view. And then if I go to the quiz, here's a really cool part is I can go here and I can say scored least, and it's out of 5, so I want them to get a 4. So now what I've done is I've set up this module that not only can the student just move through it, but they have to move through it in the order that I want, and they have some checkpoints, some ways for us to make sure they're doing this in the order we want them to do it. Okay, again, just as easy if you pull a module in from the Commons, and you can do the same things. You can kind of, if I decide, you know what, I don't need them going to ESPN, I can just remove that, and it takes it off the module. And then also remember the prerequisites. That's a nice feature to make sure that they're moving through the modules in order. You don't have to do those. So I've had teachers ask me, what if I want a module open all year long that's just on vocab? Awesome. Make that module with no prerequisites. But if we're talking about units in an order of succession, then it's important that we set some prerequisites as they move. All right, guys, have a good day.